I'm Amy Wegman. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 4 Morning News at 8 today. This morning, all eyes are on Elsa. Elsa has literally just been upgraded to a hurricane within the last 15 minutes. It just happened during the last advisory. The storm is about 200 miles away from Barbados right now. So on the left side of your screen is a live look at the conditions there from a traffic camera that's in Barbados. You can see the wind whipping those palm trees, the wet weather, the sign there on the left-hand side, the real estate sign, flapping in the wind. And Trent, I'm guessing it's only going to deteriorate there in the Barbados as this thing gets closer.
Yeah, Amy, you got to remember this is moving about 30 miles per hour. So now that storm is pretty much over the island and will eventually be through the Lesser Antilles in the next little bit. And then later on today into the Caribbean. And from that point on is when we start to watch it with a little more close eyes, because the interaction with Haiti and the Dominican Republic and also Cuba in the days ahead mean a world of a difference for what we could possibly expect here in Southwest Florida. Right now, that storm is about 1,800 miles away as a crow flies, and you can see that this tropical system is pushing towards Barbados and will eventually bring some tropical storm, if not hurricane force conditions over the next few hours there for parts of the islands. Breaking at 7:45, this hurricane now has winds of 75 miles per hour, and the pressure is now below 1,000 millibars at 995. The movement is west-northwest at 28 miles per hour. That forward speed is extremely fast for a tropical system. And as we look at the forecast track here, right now you see that icon showing a Category 1 storm. The rest of this forecast track is now outdated a bit because the National Hurricane Center was forecasting this to be a tropical storm throughout its entire life cycle, but very close with those winds of 70 miles per hour. With that in place, they issued a hurricane watch for the southern parts of Haiti and the Dominican Republic earlier today. The difference of 5 miles per hour doesn't mean very much when you're talking about a tropical system as far as impacts, but for Southwest Florida, it's simply way too early to tell what, if any, type of impacts we'll see. And I say what, if any, because the models are diverging greatly at about 4 to 5 days. That interaction with Cuba, some of the models have a dissipating system. Some of them keep it south, have a Category 3 hurricane, and as far as the track, some have it over the Bahamas, others have it over the Yucatan Channel. So what the National Hurricane Center has done, they've taken that blend and they're not going back and forth with the windshield wiper effect, and they keep it right now over Southwest Florida. But it's simply impossible to tell right now what we're going to see next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
So it's a wait and watch and learn.
Yeah, which is frustrating over a holiday weekend because a lot of people want to make plans, go relax and enjoy. So we're all in the same boat. And as soon as we start to know more here over the weekend, of course, we'll bring that to you.
Absolutely. And you know, Trent, so many people every day move to Florida. We've heard from those of you who just got to this area. A lot of people haven't been through a tropical storm or now even a hurricane, and just those words can kind of kick up the anxiety a little bit. So is there a peak time? What is the most important time of year that those new people need to focus on?
Sure. You know, we usually typically look towards the major hurricanes in August to September, but that data shows that more than 33,000 New York residents got Florida driver's license between September of 2020 and March of 2021.
All right. So that's a lot of new residents. We welcome you, first of all, but we also wanted to put together a list of things that you need to know about hurricane season if this is a new thing for you. So again, we talked about the peak times, but you know, it's funny because you think like it's hotter earlier in the summer season, but it's not that simple.
Yeah, it takes a while for that water to warm up. So those major hurricanes usually hit Florida in September, August. Florida actually leads the country in October for landfalling hurricanes. We kind of get a secondary bump there in the season. You know, geographically, we stick out like a sore thumb. We talk about that often.
Let's talk about, you know, underestimating our hurricane strength, because sometimes you hear someone say, oh, you know, that's only a Category 1. That's only a tropical storm. What do people need to keep in mind with that?
My favorite phrase is it's a minimal Category 1 hurricane.
Minimal?
Minimal. Yeah.
Still a hurricane.
It's just winds of 75 miles per hour. No, I get it, because you start to get the catastrophic damage at Category 3 or higher. But anytime you have a slow-moving tropical storm, those can be very dangerous because of the flooding. And that is one thing you got to keep in mind. There have been numerous storms throughout the years where names have been retired due to the devastation of flood. Tropical Storm Allison is just one example there along the Gulf Coast.
And also, as I choke up.
Think you all choked up.
Yes.
Tropics way too early.
So upset that it's happening this early.
Me too.
We just want to let you know that you do have to have a plan. We keep saying this over and over again. I'm going to let you explain why that's so important.
Yeah, it's important because you have to know what zone you live in, and that's about evacuations. You have to decide now whether your family is going to leave, stay, go, or find some safe place. And in many cases, you only need to evacuate a few miles inland to avoid flooding and storm surge. There's this old adage that you need to evacuate tens of miles, not hundreds.
That's very good information.
Yeah.
Part of planning also is preparing with the water, the food, all the things you're going to need if you lose electricity during a storm. And if you don't know what to pack, this is actually a really good idea. But Bonita Springs Fire says you should buy canned food that you would eat for Thanksgiving. So hurricane season, if you're new to this, runs through November 30th. And if you don't use those foods, the canned soups, the canned veggies, you don't have to worry as much maybe about preparing that Thanksgiving meal because you'll have stuff in your pantry. Instant mashed potatoes are a good idea. If you need something sweet, I guess you could buy that pie filling in a can. You could just take a spoon to it. I mean, I would kind of be down for that.